sort of one of them was like, why do you get into film and all that sort of stuff. And really, what really turns me on to movies and stuff, like it or not, was the original Star Wars. I was just mad for that stuff as a kid. I had all the figures.
How old were you when that came out?
I would have been... Well, see, there's a myth that it was out in '77, which it was, obviously in the US, but it didn't get to the UK until Christmas. So I've got a feeling I probably didn't see it until January '78, which means I would have been 8 or 7 or 8, 7 or 8. Yeah, and it was just amazing. And there's a well, and I actually remember, but my mother takes great pleasure in telling everyone that the night that both me and my brother saw Star Wars at the cinema with our parents, obviously, and we both wet the bed that night, so it must have been a good film. And yeah, and I still remember the dream I had as I wet the bed that night, and that was me doing a whiz up the side of the wall of the house, which is an odd thing to remember, but I remember that dream.
Not directly connected to Star Wars. I thought you were
Pissing
about
up
to
the
say,
wall.
I can remember the dream I had, and it was like me in a land speeder.
No, but that was definitely the dream I had. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, then I suppose I got to an age where I was thinking, well, how did they make this stuff? And another memory I have is it was a Friday evening, and the making of The Empire Strikes Back was going to be on, and Friday evenings were where we used to visit my nan, and I was really impatient to get home to watch it. And again, so I guess I would have been like 11 or 12 by that time. 11 maybe. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, and that was just amazing, to see how, because obviously I was being that much older, that much more alert to how things work and how things are made. And that
how films were made?
Yeah, and particularly Star Wars, because I was just mad for Star Wars at the time. To me, that was my universe.
Anything in particular?
Just the whole mythos, really.
Not the guy whacking the pylons with the
hammer. That as well, yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, sound is a massive part of Star Wars. And I think that, coupled with my dad being a bit of an audiophile, explains why I'm so keen on sound, even though I've learnt to be less of a perfectionist as I've got older, because, if you strive for perfection, you're never going to reach it. You have to kind of get to a point where you think, well, okay, we've done our best, that'll do.
Give us a blast of your new thing then.
Oh, this thing. Yeah, it's probably easier to put it on through here. Got any requests for music?
Ooh.
Some horrible things that I've got in my iTunes library.
Like?
Or I could just do a randomise it. Tap to focus. Is it too close? I don't know. How about some Star Wars then?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, in fact, yeah. There's this. I was so disappointed when I got this Pickwick tape. Probably helps if I switch it on. That always helps, doesn't it? So again, it's digital, so there's no on and off switch. It's on and waiting for it to boot up. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the box is. Oh, here we go. we'll do some here.
This is something you had as a nipper?
Yeah, on a Pickwick tape. There's somewhere they do a. Hang on.
Oh, I thought this had the. I thought I already had the Thunderbolt, the lightning connector.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so then, did you get that cheaper then?
Yeah, well, it's like an end of line job, isn't it? So it's. Anyway, I can't find the bit I was looking for. So.
What did your dad think of that?
He hasn't heard it or seen it. He doesn't even know I've got it.
I just wondered because you said he was an audiophile.
Yeah, basically he's had the same Polk tweeters and subwoofer for the last 25 years. So I think he's reached an age and a point where he just doesn't care anymore.
What's that thing there?
What
Oh,
thing?
just take us through that. What's that? What do you use that for?
That?
Yeah.
Oh, this. I don't actually use it for anything much anymore. Basically went through a phase of accessorising the iPhone, particularly when we were on Gain.
What's Gain?
Well, Gain was I guess what we call a 2-week film, because it's the idea is to shoot and edit it in 2 weeks, so you have a product at the end. And we shot that on iPhones, myself and Evil C. Yeah, and we tried all sorts of things. I also tried working with microphones, but in the end, we went handheld. This is a thing where you can obviously put the phone in. It doesn't really fit an iPhone 5. That's another thing about Apple, innit? They keep changing their shit around. But obviously, the phone would go in there, and then you can, move it around however you want. But I ended up mainly using handheld in a military grade tough case, which worked really well at the end of the shoot when it started to rain, because you could still keep going, whereas the other camera didn't have one of these, and it was getting tricky to operate, from what I understand. And when I say camera, I mean phone, which is quite surreal.
So is it perfectly possible to make a feature film on a phone then?
Well, absolutely. I mean, what's a feature film other than, moving pictures for a couple of hours or an hour? So yeah.
Okay, let's get back to